Now, the site, along with the Nakayama gold mine, was collectively designated a National Historic Site of Japan in 1997 as the Kai gold mine sites. Now, the Kai province, the ancestral home of the Takeda clan, is a very mountainous area which is rich in mineral resources. After Takeda Shingen seized power from his father and unified the province, he developed the gold resources which were known to exist in various areas of the province, minting gold coins called Koshukin, which were in great demand due to their purity. The Kurokawa mine is located on the hillside of Mount Kiken, also known as Mount Kurokawa, in the northeastern part of the prefecture, at an elevation of around 1350 to 1400 meters. Now, gold in the form of gold dust was known to be extracted from the area since at least the early Kamakura period. However, exploitation began in earnest by Takeda Shingen, and the location of more than 50 mine heads and a smelter ruins have been found in this area, along with a mining town. Now, production is estimated to have reached its peak during the tenure of his son, Takeda Katsuyori. Now, after the fall of the Takeda clan, Kai province came under the control of Tokugawa Ieyasu, and the mines continued to operate into the Edo period under the control of the Tokugawa shogunate. Now, archaeological evidence has found mining tools such as mortar and chisels, ceramics, and daily necessities such as copper coins. Gold extractions was done by gold planting as well as open pit mining and tunneling. References to the mine disappear from historical records around the Genroku era, which is around 1688 to 1703. Now, an attempt was made to reopen the mine in 1906, but the venture failed after 2 years. The Kurokawa mine is about 60 minutes by car from Inzen Station on JR Tokai Chao main line. Now, the Nakayama mine is located in Minobu, Yamanashi, in the southern part of the prefecture, on the slope of Mount Kanashi at an elevation of 1,400 to 1,600 meters. The site covers 16.36 hectares, and 124 mine heads have been identified. The site has a flat area where the residents of the workers and the smelters once existed, and an extensive telling piles. Its history parallels that of Kurokawa mines, and it was controlled by the Anayama clan, retainers of the Takeda clan, and later of the Tokugawa. The mine was first mentioned in official documents in 1571 and was closed at the end of the 17th century. It is about 20 minutes by car from Shimobosen Station at the JR Tokai Minobu line. However, some artifacts are on display at the Oku Museum of Gold Mining History. Now, I know a lot of that was a little bit confusing, but the reason why I wanted to mention this was because, according to the folklore, they needed to hide the secret of these of this gold mine, and evidence has been found that this gold mine, even after the fall of the clan, which eventually fell, like I said, it was still being produced well after. So even though it's a good story and it does have a good lore and everything, there is evidence that it wasn't as big of a secret as what everybody was making it out to be. But it is actually supposed to be a haunted site, according to what everybody says about it. So that was something that I wanted to pull up. I also have some more stuff that is about this too, and it has to do with, well, it's just something that I wanted to read that I think would also fit, and it would sound a little bit better too. So let me go ahead and read this to you and see how you guys think about it, or what you think about it. So just outside the city of Tokyo is Chichibu Tamakai National Park. It has 8 peaks and spans over 2,000 miles. This beautiful park covers over 4 prefectures in Japan: Saitama, Yamanishi, Nagano, and Tokyo. In Yamanashi Prefecture, in between the city of Kishu and the village of Tayama, just off of an old road that was once a part of National Highway 411, lies a gorge with a beautiful waterfall called Seiko Waterfall by the locals. To many, this seems like a beautiful area to stop after driving through the Japanese countryside, but you might not want to wander too close, for this is the spot where 55 women were killed by Takeda soldiers. One of the richest clans in Japan during the Shingoku Jidai was the Takeda. The landlocked province of Kai had to find ways to fund their armies and campaigns, and they found a way to do so: gold. In the hills near Mount Karakawa, the Takeda clan had a gold mine. Gold had been mined from these hills since the Heian period, which is between 794 to 1185, and during the Sengoku Jidai, the Takeda took advantage of the mines. This was a major operation which required miners, guards, and women to entertain the men during their off hours. Not all of the gold that was mined from these hills was used for war. Some were buried in the hills as offerings to the gods, mainly as offerings for good fortune for the Takeda in battle, and many believe treasure caches that were also buried in the hills might still be there today. Unfortunately, the offerings could not stop the fall of the Takeda clan. While the mine and the clan did well under Takeda Shinjin, the Takeda began to decline under his son, Takeda Katsuyori. The clan became a shell of its former self after their devastating defeat at the Battle of Nagashino in 1575. The Takeda clan collapsed entirely with the death of Katsuyori on April the 3rd, 1582, and the race was on to hide family secrets, mainly the gold mines. Even though the mines were beginning to run dry, members of the dying clan were worried about people finding out the location of the mine and the gold caches. To keep information about the gold from spreading, they targeted the women. They were afraid that the prostitutes learned information from the men who worked there, which could be valuable in the wrong hands. So they came up with a plan. A large platform was constructed over the Yanagasawa River near where it flows into the Ichinos River. Once it was completed, the prostitutes were invited to come and practice a dance for a farewell party. At the height of their dance, soldiers hacked away at the wisteria vines that held up the platform, causing it to collapse. All 55 women fell into the gorge below. Some were killed in the initial fall, but the others who survived the fall were swept away and killed when they went over the waterfall. Their bodies were found downstream by the villagers of Tibayama, and they were fished out and buried. They later built a monument in the memory of the victims. Now, while it has been called Oran-Buchi, many people and historians have pointed out a couple of facts. First, what happened to the miners and the guards? Would they not have been killed too? Unfortunately, I have not been able to find any information regarding the men that worked the mines, so I cannot say anything as to their fates. Even the Japanese Wikipedia page that Google translated did not mention anything about the men. The focus seems to be primarily on the women, which brings us to the next point that has puzzled people. The name Oiran is a high-class prostitute. They were above common prostitutes, known as Yujo or Yuyo. For while they might have been sex workers, the highest-ranking Oran Tayu might not engage in sex work. They also had talents in traditional arts and were known to be exclusive and expensive. These ladies would not have entertained minors, but Yujo would have. On top of this, the profession of Oran came about during the Edo period, which is between 1603 to 1868. Years after this incident occurred. Perhaps the name Uran-Buchi came about during this era, and even though they might have been lower class prostitutes, perhaps the name was given to them out of honor due to the violent nature of their deaths. It is just a theory of mine, but there is another that many historians entertain, and that is that the women were not prostitutes at all. Under Takeda Shingen, the Takeda clan used female ninja to help gather information about their allies. This meant that these ladies not only had information on the enemies of the Takeda clan, but they had information on the Takeda clan as well.